Welcome to an analysis of CAT 2020 Slot 2. This slot again continued the good note that CAT had begun. There were no technical glitches and the format by now settled down to a sense of familiarity. The overall format of the paper was as follows. Each correct question, 3 marks. Each incorrect question carried a -1. The keen questions did not carry negative marks. The time limit for each sectional was 40 minutes. The total duration was 2 hours. A candidate could not move from one section to the next during the time allotted for the sectional. The VRRC sectional. Once again, VRRC sectional continued to trouble students. With 18 questions spread across 4 RCs, this section provided some challenge to the candidates. In fact, there was speculation that they were slightly more difficult than the RCs of slot 1. The RCs were around 450 to 550 words in length, with 2 RCs carrying 5 questions each and 2 RCs carrying 4 questions each. The first RC, which carried 5 questions, was on energy and environment. It talked about investing in renewable technologies, energy technologies. The second RC, which was on international trade, which talked of piracy in international trade, carried 4 questions and can be termed moderate. The third RC, on psychology, which discussed the various Freudian models of aggression, carried 4 questions and can be termed moderately difficult. Since the topic was psychology, it carried abstract language. Fourth RC was on philosophy, discussed visualization, was an analysis of visualization. This carried 5 questions, and since the topic was philosophy abstract, can certainly be marked difficult. A sectional had 3 summary questions, moderately difficult, because the language was not very straightforward in every question. Parajumbles, there were 3 questions of 4 sentences each, which can be marked moderate. There were 2 questions of out of context with fairly simple language, can be marked moderate. However, the RC sectional, with the regression required at every stage of the RC for every question, required a lot of time for reading the RCs, and that's why this sectional overall can be marked moderate to difficult. Good attempts can be considered to be in the range of 16-18 questions. Let's examine the DILR sectional. The slight departure from previous years in terms of number of questions per set continued in slot 2, with 3 sets carrying 4 questions each and 2 sets carrying 6 questions each. The 24 questions of DILR sectional had 3 sets of LR and 2 sets of DI, and it also had 6 non-negative key-in questions. Let's examine the sets and the topics. The first set, a DI set, had 4 questions. It was a question to do with votes in 4 constituencies and was an incomplete table. This was of moderate difficulty level. The second set, which was an LR set, had 6 questions. This had to do with seminar scheduling, the allocation and distribution type. This can be marked a moderately difficult one because yes, this set offered challenges. Set 3 was another LR set which carried 4 questions, had to do with parking slots and was a moderate set. Set 4, which was an LR set, carried 4 questions, had to do with the red, green, blue color filling in a 5x5 grid. This was a moderately difficult one. Set 5 carried 6 questions, which was a set to do with sales figures and was a difficult one. This was a DI set. Overall, this sectional can be called a moderately difficult one. Good attempts would be a 13 to 14 questions. Let's examine the QA sectional too. QA slot 2 had a total of 26 questions. This continued the balanced distribution of questions across arithmetic and algebra. Slot 1 also had the same. Here, arithmetic was represented by about 10-11 questions, with almost all topics represented. This segment had easy questions, a couple of easy questions. There were also some really tricky questions here. 9-10 questions of algebra surfaced, from moderate to difficult. There were 2 or 3 questions on numbers and 4 questions of geometry. This sectional was slightly time consuming. With right selection of questions, a student should have been able to navigate through this sectional easily. The overall difficulty level was moderate. Good attempts would be a 15 to 16 questions. Here are the predicted scores versus percentiles of slot 2. Thank you for watching CAT 2020 slot 2 analysis.